Behind closed doors, the intruder underneath the couch. In my childhood, our family resided in a sprawling mansion, a place that seemed to hold secrets within its expansive walls. Towards the back of the first floor, a room we dubbed the second living room lay forgotten, adorned with an ancient recliner, a small table, and a mead-sized couch, an area seldom explored by us. One fateful day, illness befell me, granting a reprieve from the daily grind of school. As my siblings attended their classes and my parents pursued their work, the house transformed into a silent haven for me. The clock ticked towards 10:30 a.m., and faint footsteps echoed through the corridors. Initially dismissing them, I speculated it might be my tardy mother hurrying off to work. Hunger eventually lured me downstairs to the kitchen. However, as I approached the entrance, my eyes didn't meet the familiar figure of my mother but a towering, disheveled man standing at a distance. His clothes, tattered and worn, bore witness to a life on the fringes, and his gaze fixed on me with an unsettling emptiness. Fear seized me, paralyzing me in place. The stranger mirrored my stillness, devoid of any discernible emotion. Breaking free from the paralysis, I sprinted back upstairs, seeking refuge in the sanctuary of my room. I locked the door and barricaded it with a dresser. Instead of dialing 911, panic led me to call my mom. I screamed into the phone, recounting the intrusion into our home. She urged me to stay put and call the police, which I promptly did. It felt like an eternity before the police arrived, their presence visible through my bedroom window. I watched as they entered, conducting an exhaustive search that yielded nothing, no intruder, no signs of forced entry. The fear lingered, knowing that the man who had invaded my space was still at large. As my parents returned home, a mixture of frustration and relief enveloped us. However, a sharp-eyed officer discovered a Walmart bag protruding from beneath the unused couch in the side room. The room we seldom entered, the room where the forgotten became terrifying. To our horror, the officer pulled out not just trash bags but a week's worth of rotting food, personal items, and even a bag of urine. It was a haunting revelation. The intruder had been living beneath our couch for weeks. The stench, the filth, all concealed beneath the surface of our seemingly secure home. The police packed up, and as they left, the realization set in that the man who had invaded our sanctuary had vanished without a trace. The room that harbored such a disturbing secret underwent a thorough cleansing, transformed into a bright breakfast nook with wooden chairs to ensure no one could exploit it again. Heading off to college soon brought a sense of liberation, but the memories of that eerie encounter lingered, etched deeply in my mind. The idea that someone had lived undetected in the shadows of our home, surviving on our waste, still sends shivers down my spine. The unknown dangers lurking within the walls of our seemingly safe haven continued to haunt me, a constant reminder that sometimes, the true horror lies just beneath the surface, concealed within the depths of the familiar and the seemingly secure. Guardian in the Shadows, Leslie's Silent Heroics. In the shadowy folds of a memory from over a decade ago, a tale unfolds, shrouded in the chilling cloak of an East Coast city in transition. The narrative, though seemingly uneventful, bears the weight of a night etched in solitude and the unspoken bravery of an unlikely hero. It was a time when high school concerns tethered me, a self-proclaimed introvert, to the rare tranquility of an empty house. My parents were away at a wedding, my brother toiling through a night shift, leaving me to revel in the solitude I cherished. The neighborhood, once vibrant, was slowly succumbing to a nosedive, the echoes of its transformation resonating in the creaks and groans of aging structures. My plan for the night was simple: PlayStation, late-night takeout, and the comforting glow of Dragon Ball Z. The tranquility of the evening, however, shattered around 1 a.m. with a distant bang echoing from the back alley. City dwellers know such sounds are commonplace, dismissed as the nocturnal symphony of urban life. Leslie, my companion of 8 years, an old beagle with a penchant for peace, stirred at the noise. Amid the urban hum, a second bang disrupted the stillness, awakening something unusual in Leslie. His head lifted from my lap, and the hair on his back stood erect. The normally serene beagle transformed into a guardian, barking and growling towards the seldom used basement door leading to the alley. His behavior, unprecedented and unsettling, sent shivers down my spine. In those tense moments, a realization gripped me: someone was relentlessly attempting to breach our sanctuary through the rusted basement door. Fear surged, adrenaline pumping through my veins. I rushed upstairs, guided by an instinct to arm myself with a heavy-wood baseball bat hidden beneath my bed. A macho teenager with a tough exterior, I descended to confront the threat head-on. The descent to the basement was met with urgency, but Leslie, displaying a vigor unseen before, bolted past me. A man's voice uttered an expletive, and the banging ceased. The intruder, thwarted by the unexpected ferocity of an aging beagle, faded into the shadows. Despite the danger, I refrained from alerting the authorities, choosing instead to stand guard through the night with the bat clenched in my hand. Morning arrived, bringing my brother home, and the full gravity of the night unfolded as the basement door, hanging precariously, revealed the proximity of a perilous breach. Leslie, the lazy, fat, and aging dog, emerged as the unsung hero. His swift response, his uncanny awareness, saved me from the faceless danger that lurked in the dark. In recounting the story, some dismiss Leslie's actions as mere canine instinct, but I know better. That night, Leslie defied his nature, moving with an urgency and purpose, as if sensing the imminent threat. Years passed, and the inevitability of time led to Leslie's final moments. Before bidding him farewell, I found myself alone with him, expressing gratitude for his silent companionship and the unspoken courage he exhibited that fateful night. As a grown man with a family, I reflect on that night, convinced that the lazy, old beagle played a pivotal role in shaping the course of my life, reminding me that heroes often emerge from the most unexpected places, even within the pawprints of a faithful companion. Phantom Resonance, a chilling encounter at midnight. In the recesses of my adolescence, a peculiar incident unfolded within the familiar walls of my family home, leaving an indelible mark on my understanding of reality. Even today, the mystery lingers, casting a long and unsettling shadow over my perception of the sanctuary that once felt so secure. It was a stormy night, the symphony of raindrops against the windowpane setting the stage for an otherworldly encounter. The tempest had prompted my retreat to the safety of my dad's room, a routine born out of our location in Tornado Alley. As a heavy sleeper, the allure of familiar surroundings beckoned, and I settled into my refuge as the clock approached the haunting hour of 12:43 a.m. Engrossed in a late-night YouTube session, the rhythmic cadence of raindrops against the house created a soothing backdrop. However, the tranquility was abruptly shattered when the unmistakable sound of my dad's car bass reverberated through the air, announcing his arrival in the driveway. Our small town, where everyone knew everyone, lent a distinctive character to his car, making it easily recognizable. In anticipation of his descent, I gathered my belongings and my canine companion, perching at the edge of the bed. As minutes ticked away without the expected arrival, curiosity got the better of me, drawing me to the window that offered a panoramic view of the driveway. Its expanse left no room for a vehicle to escape unnoticed, yet the driveway stood devoid of any car. Bewilderment gripped me momentarily, the possibility of a passing car on the adjacent highway flickering through my mind. Returning to my position, dismissing the anomaly as a mere misunderstanding, I couldn't shake off the rhythmic car bass sound that persisted, an enigmatic hum weaving through the silence. A chill crept up my spine, but I shrugged it off, attributing it to the commonplace occurrence of people parking near houses in the dead of night. The passage of time brought no clarity, only the sudden sound of a cough emanating from the garage. Relief washed over me, assuming my dad had indeed returned. Yet, the comfort evaporated when I recognized the absence of the familiar sound of the garage door opening. Fear clawed at the edges of my consciousness, reluctant to look out the window once more. Minutes stretched into an eternity, the storm outside intensifying with thunderous roars and blinding flashes of lightning. In the midst of the tempest, a soft, familiar voice whispered my name, my father's voice, or so it seemed. Yet, logic dictated that he wasn't due to return until 2 a.m. Frozen in place, senses heightened, I strained to catch every creak and groan in the house. A furtive glance at my bewildered dog revealed he sensed nothing amiss. I lay still, breath held, as the voice persisted in its haunting call. A surreal quiet settled over the room, and in that unnerving silence, I succumbed to exhaustion, drifting into an uneasy slumber. At 4 a.m., reality snapped back into focus as I raced to the window, spotting my dad's car where it should be. Darting upstairs, I recounted the night's strange events to him. While skepticism clung to the periphery of my belief system, an undeniable discomfort had taken root within the confines of my once familiar abode. Ghosts and ethereal entities may elude my convictions, but the memory of that haunting voice calling my name remains etched into the tapestry of my reality. Unanswered questions reverberate through the corridors, casting a perpetual sense of unease within the sanctuary that was once my haven. What if I had ascended those stairs, chasing the elusive call? The mystery, unresolved, continues to linger, a persistent specter that forever unsettles the sanctity of my own house.